You're probably here on my website for one of two reasons. You just found us and you're interested in the world of academic dishonesty, and you're just reading, researching a little bit, maybe avoiding studying for an exam or writing that essay. Or you're facing an allegation, or you're a parent of a student that's facing an allegation, and you're not really sure where to turn. In the next few moments, I'm going to explain the process that is followed at most schools of how an academic dishonesty allegation makes its way through the system. The first step is you've received some sort of notification, likely an email, that there's an investigation pertaining to academic dishonesty. Every school is different, and every school follows their own procedure in accordance with administrative law principles. However, there are some differences, but there are a lot of similarities. The first stage of the process at many schools is for this informal meeting with your professor. And at this meeting, you'll give your professor your side of the story. You want to be careful when it comes to these meetings, as generally lawyers don't participate in these initial meetings, because what you do tell your professor could potentially be used against you down the road as your matter makes its way through the process. Now, following that meeting, your professor will decide if they're going to report the issue to, let's say, the dean, although it could be the chair of a program or somebody else in charge of academic dishonesty in your school or your program. So what will generally happen next is you'll receive a more formal email from somebody at the school inviting you to what's usually called an exploratory meeting. And the meeting is with whoever in your program is in charge of dealing with academic dishonesty. These meetings follow a very formal procedure. Again, depending where you're going to school. And you'll be presented with the case, and then you'll be provided with an opportunity to respond. At many schools, you'll be able to bring legal counsel along with you to the meeting. Now, schools try and suggest these are meant to be these informal meetings and this discussion that goes back and forth that's meant to find out what's actually happened. In all honesty, they're anything but, and you do need to be careful, because more so than at the initial meeting with your professor, anything that you do say at this meeting becomes an official part of the record and can be used against you down the road. Often I'll suggest going into this meeting and being honest, but it really depends on what the case is and what we know about the case before the meeting. If your explanation is good enough for the dean's designate, and you convince them that you in fact didn't do anything wrong, your case could be dismissed at that point. Now, if the case isn't that serious, you can often reach a resolution as to academic sanction with the dean's designate. And in many cases and at many schools, it is in your interest to end the process there, because the sanctions at the dean's level or the decanal level can be much less severe than if you take your case to the next stage of the process. If you can't resolve your case at the exploratory meeting with the dean's designate, then your case is likely to proceed to a more formal process, which I'll discuss in the next video.